First of all, we have a location use disclosure, which is a Google application store requirement. Once we approve that, we can sign in with a login password and a company ID. It syncs a lot of data from the backend to load or to see the database, the local database. We allow teams to access the location of the device and then make phone calls and access the phone call and also do recordings. The technician lands in a list of his open work orders. And for each one, it shows the work order name, the customer name, customer address, the status, priority, specialty, a brief description of the problem at hand, the scheduled date, and some additional information that dispatch may have entered. With the get jobs, the technician can just basically refresh this view in case technician says, I just sent you something. Instead of waiting for the cycle of the application, they can trigger the synchronization with this button. Let's click in one of the work orders. Some locations require the technician to do a check-in, check-out mandatory, and this is basically reminding them that they have to do that. And this is only depending on the location settings. In the home, we have the option to see the entire location's history. When we click here, we will basically see all the work orders that this location has. And for each one, we can explore the details of what was the work description, what were the tasks, the equipments touched, what history each equipment has. In this case, I think we have nothing. But the technician can actually view the entire history of the location from here. Then we have labor history for this particular work order in case this work order has had several cycles, which happens sometimes. Maybe sometimes the work order has to be put in needs attention, and then technician, the same one or another one, is assigned to this work order, and they come back. So we can see here the labor history. And this is important because many places request that labor doesn't surpass a certain amount of hours. Material history, same thing. We can see in the entire material history that has been used in this particular work order, documents for this work order in particular. And these are usually uploaded by dispatch, but sometimes they are sent by the customer, or they can even be sent by the uploaded by the technician. We have work order number, location name. If we click in the red, that will show us Google Maps to drive the location with driving directions to the location. We have the address and NTE amount, some special instructions, and this is true for any and all customers. Many times customers have special instructions, and this is where dispatch would fill them, and the technician would see that. Contact name and contact phone for the customer. Sometimes there is a customer provided a work order number or PO, and then customer standing. This is important because sometimes we have to have the technician remind the customer that they owe some money. So we actually share with the technician the accounts receivable of this customer. I mean, this is optional. If the customer doesn't want to show anything, meaning the owner of the application, it goes in zero, but we have the option to show the technician what the customer owes. We also have information about the sales rep for this particular customer in case the technician needs to contact them. Then every single work order has one or more tasks. Let's navigate into one task. The task is associated with an equipment, and this equipment is originally set by dispatch, but the technician can relocate the task for another equipment. At this point, the technician can pick a different equipment from the list of equipments associated with this particular customer, or they can create a new equipment. Sometimes dispatch doesn't assign the task to the right equipment. So most times the technicians have to pick the right equipment, or many times they have to create the equipment in case it doesn't exist. In this case, we're going to pick this one, the air handler, and it will load all the information about the type, make, model, serial number. Let's see the details of that particular equipment, and let's see what we can do. We can take a manufacturer tag picture. This is important for AI. The name, description, make, model, serial number, customer tag picture. So many customers have attached a tag to each asset, so it's good to have the equipments tagged by the manufacturer and the tag by the customer, because the tag by the customer has many times the ID or the asset number assigned by the customer, and they want in their billing that number instead of the manufacturer's numbers. We continue with alternate tag number and some history about the equipment. When was it purchased? The last service date, last service PO, a job number, who serviced it last. This is the name of the technician, a replacement value, a total repair cost, and we keep this to guide the customer in when it's better to replace the equipment instead of just fixing it. We have an option to take several pictures and add notes to this equipment. Let's go back and let's see now. We can see the equipment history if it has one. It shows what was done each time, who did it, when, etc. Here, the technician can enter notes. Just if it is yellow, that means technician, you haven't entered any notes on this trip to this customer for this work order. So they click there, they can add a description, and these are just placeholders to get started in the note. It validates the check-in, check-out in case the customer has that enabled, and they can type anything here. And it's green because they entered now a note for this. We also have the option for internal notes. As you can imagine, these are only seen by the dispatch. We can add as many pictures as we want on what is the technician finding at this moment. Forms, this is a very important one. The system has the option to create forms. Let's click on the follow-up forms. And we just basically enter or allowed to enter all the details required for a follow-up. Let's save it, in this case, as a completed form. Refrigerant tracking, a very comprehensive form for tracking the refrigerant. This is a legal thing. So we ask every single detail that the actual legal form requires. We move forward to the parts needed. Here, the technician can enter any parts needed, and these parts needed go to dispatch and actually also go to the purchase department and to sales to begin with, so that sales can verify with the customer if they want to invest that in that part and if they want to pay for that. And if they approve, then that goes to the purchasing department where the part is purchased. When the part arrives, the dispatch is notified, and then we can redispatch the technician to this location to finish the job. As you can see, we ask all things needed to plan the next visit. Exactly what has to be done, what is the part, how many technicians are needed, what is the estimated time on these technicians, if a repair can be done in business hours or not. If it said no, then it will ask for who can we contact for that. Is a crane needed? If I said yes, it will ask what is the height, the distance, the type of crane that is needed. Labor, the technician can enter all the details of the labor. There are many time codes. It allowed to enter zero because many times technicians want to create like a placeholder for the time, and then they, at the end of the routine, they enter the actual time. This is all the inventory parts. So if the technician used any inventory part, any stock part, then they can enter it here. And this is synced to the inventory that the customer has, like for instance in QuickBooks. Non-stock parts are entered here, and we can enter purchases of pictures like a receipt to support the non-stock part that was probably purchased by the technician in the field. The technician can also place POs here, and they are allowed to pick some from certified vendors. They can enter purchase pictures, past pictures, enter a description, quantity. And this is synced to, again, this goes to dispatch, this goes to the purchase department, this goes to sales to approval, this can go to QuickBooks automatically. Non-vendor purchases, these are things that the technician can buy with their credit card on a Home Depot, for instance. And sometimes there is a reimbursement, sometimes there is not a reimbursement. So this is something that is also automated. If there is a reimbursement, then at the end of the week, a person in admin will basically work that out and reimburse the technicians for whatever it needs to be reimbursed. We're going to save this task, and you can add more tasks as needed. They can come from dispatch, or the technician can add them in the field. Notes, this is a place where all the notes taken are collected, but the technician can add additional notes here. So there are notes linked to tasks, there are notes linked to equipment, and there are notes like this one that is linked to the overall job. Forms, again, from here we can see all the possible forms that the technician can fill up, and they travel to the back end, and these are sent usually to the customer. When finishing, we ask if we use it was any warranty part, yes or not, what was added as a warranty, if the return part has to go to the office, to the vendor, or we can trash it. For each case, it's asked, for instance, for the vendor, what is the RMA part number? Audio notes, the technicians are encouraged to leave audio notes explaining the whole thing since arrival, what they found, what they did, what is the next, if they completed or not, what is the next thing to do. This is in and out times where technicians can check in, check out. Pictures, all the pictures taken by the technicians will be here, but they can add more here from gallery, from camera, and they can even sketch in top of the pictures um, to highlight places. Signatures, well, that's self-explanatory. We save the job now. And we save it either as needs attention or completed. Technician can enter a note, and there we go. So that's the job cycle. Then we have more options. We have option open, needs, completed, search your from the database. We have personal forms, we have injury forms, request for call, request for timeout, and more forms could be added if the company decides that they wanted more forms. They have a defined workflow so that they arrive to the appropriate person. If this is, for instance, a request for call switch, then that goes to the head dispatcher of this of this technician, so that they can coordinate who can replace this technician on a certain job. Request for time off, same thing. This one will go to HR or to the immediate boss of this technician, so that they can accept it or not and process it, etc. So that's for personal forms. We also can see here search customers, so they can actually search the entire customer database. If it is a huge result, then it asks for a little bit more of details. Here we're going to pick one of the Aldis. We see the detailed information about the customer. We can see the history of jobs, the equipment on that customer, and even start the job from at that moment. This is the timesheet, which is weekly right now in the system, and the technician can keep track of it in real time, and they can make sure that they have all the information added to their timesheet. And the system will automatically do a cut every Monday by 9 a.m. And that goes to the option in the system in the back office, where the person in charge of HR will handle all these time logs and approve them, and then send them to their system, for instance, again, to QuickBooks in this case, or to ADP if we have a connection with ADP via API. Sync now will basically push a sync and not wait for the system to do it. There are some settings that can be done, including resetting the database. Teams gallery, that means all the pictures taken by the application. And they can contact me or anyone in the Teams team here. This is, let's say, on our side. And that's it. That's the Teams HVAC application.